clock is ticking for the Adams 14 School District.
We've lost way too much instruction over the years to put this off for another year.
The state denies a request to give the district more time to fix years-long problems. They say it's time to prioritize students.
I feel we have really failed those students for 9 years.
The snow is coming to an end and warmer days are ahead.
A hands-on approach to finding solutions to homelessness.
It's really listening to people of the issues, gathering what's happening in community.
A new project is meeting those in need right where they are.
It do start out by going to meet your neighbor, finding out who they are, finding out who you are as a person.
Good evening, and thank you for watching Denver 7 News at 6. I'm Ann Trujillo.
I'm Shannon Ogden. Glad you're with us tonight. The Adams 14 School District has struggled for years. They've lost accreditation in the past. They have a graduation rate well below the state average. They've had the state take over the district.
And today, the State Board of Education made it clear they want to stop the bleeding, and they want to do it soon.
Denver 7's Rob Harris sat in a virtual meeting today where the state denied a request to delay a decision over that district's future.
Hi, Madam Chair, we are live.
The vote from the Colorado State Board of Education Thursday was unanimous.
Yes.
Board Member McClellan?
Yes.
Every member present for the virtual meeting voted to deny an extension for Adams 14 School District.
Yes.
Meaning the district has until April 14th to present a plan for improvement that the board signs off on. At that point, the board could vote to do anything from closing Adams City High School to reorganizing the district. The only thing the board cannot do is nothing. It's required by law to intervene when schools underperform for extended periods of time.
We still have no plan of how we're moving these kids forward. And in my heart of hearts, I feel like we have let these students down and teachers, quite frankly.
The district had asked for the meeting to be bumped to June, since the current meeting is scheduled for the week state testing is scheduled to take place. But board members said state test schedules have been known for 2 years. The problems at the district have been known for years longer, and there's been plenty of time to come up with a plan.
Putting it off till June just means you won't be able to implement it in August. I'm not quite sure why the leniency is needed.
The report from the state review panel said declining enrollment and a culture of fear and retaliation within the district had limited improvement in student achievement and growth over many years, and that drastic change is needed. Denver 7 talked to a representative and lawyer of Adams 14 School District this week. They said the report's one-sided, and that their former external management partners at MGT Consulting should be blamed, since it led the district until February.
The district was forced to work with an out-of-state for-profit company that in the years that followed failed to meet its expectations.
Still, the district has struggled academically for years, which led to the installation of the outside firm by the state board in the first place. And now that the outside firm is out, the board now has to decide whether to give Adams 14 another shot at its own improvement plan.
I feel we have really failed those students for 9 years.
If the Colorado Board of Education denies the district's plan for improvement, at that point, it could vote to close Adams City High School. Students there would then attend other high schools in the area that have higher academic performance. For Denver 7, I'm Rob Harris.
And let's give you some context on just how much the Adams 14 School District is struggling. The state says 8 out of 10 students in that district are not reading at grade level. The graduation rate is 15% below the state average, and students are twice as likely to drop out of school.
And as Rob mentioned there, this is not a new issue for Adams 14. We spoke with Rhonda Hannaford, who works for the State Department of Education. She says these issues go back more than a decade.
They have had 7 different superintendents, including interims and acting superintendents, since 2008. And so that, I think that is important to remember. So though they do have a superintendent who joined them this past July, this is not a new situation for the Adams 14 school district.
The state review panel has recommended a school closure 4 other times. This is the first time the panel has recommended to reorganize a district.
Good news here, the snow is coming to an end, and our Denver 7 Weather Action Day will be coming to an end soon as well. In fact, you can see some blue skies. They're trying to peek through the clouds from our Mile High camera. Let's send it over to meteorologist Mike Nelson to get our Denver 7 forecast.
Check out some of the numbers that we had from the storm, and 15 inches at Genesee. Ponderosa Park in northwestern Elbert County had a foot. Parker, 10.5. Southeast Aurora, that's my backyard, 8.5. We had about 5 here at our studios, and DI had 7.3. 8 at Lone Tree. But as you mentioned, there's a little bit of sunshine starting to poke through, at least in Denver. There's still snow showers continuing off to the west of us across much of the foothills. They will diminish, but not quite be finished until probably closer to 10 or 11 o'clock tonight. Across the state, all of the advisories have been lifted now. They pushed off into Kansas, where they have a blizzard warning in effect out in central Kansas around Hayes. That's the same storm we just finished with. It's 35 right now in Denver. We're dropping to the teens tonight, so the flurries will finish. Slick streets and sidewalks, though. Warmer for the weekend, but there's another storm coming up as soon as Monday. I'll have details on that in a few minutes.
Thank you, Mike. Homeless advocates braved the cold and snow today, focused on real solutions to help underserved communities across the metro. Denver 7's Micah Smith joined them as they went door to door today in Denver's 5 Points neighborhood.
When the snow is falling and the temperature drops, a lot of community members think about our unhoused neighbors and how to connect them with resources. A new initiative called the Basic Project is using a personal approach to get to know people in need, the policies that have worked for them, and the policies that have failed them. Many organizations throughout Denver offer a warm meal and shelter daily. The Community Outreach Service Center is one of them.
Talking to people, get to know our neighbors.
But through its new initiative called the Basic Project, the center hopes to offer even more.
Bridging accountable, safe, inclusive communities. It's really listening to people of the issues.
On this cold and snowy day, the Basic Project coordinator Gerald Hamill and peer navigator Raymond Johnson are doing just that. Hamill says he's talked to researchers all over the country about best practices for addressing the needs of underserved communities. And the answer is simple.
It's getting out, listening to people, not coming with an agenda.
Hamill says policies are often created in a bubble without input from those most impacted.
I was once considered an invisible person. We are your neighbors.
Raymond Johnson hasn't lived on the streets, but he spent 26 years in prison and was recently released.
Working in prison is different.
He says outreach helped him transition into his new life. And now Johnson's hoping to be a liaison between those who also feel invisible and those creating policies.
It do start out by going to meet your neighbor, finding out who they are.
There's plenty of housing.
Hamill says a lot of resources are offered and immediately rejected.
There's no relationship and I can't trust.
Hamill says the Basic Project plans to build that trust by getting to know those who live nearby, whether over a free hot meal like this one at Agape Christian Church, or by simply stopping to ask about their needs. After eating that hot meal inside of the church, the Basic Project members were all encouraged to take a plate to someone in need in the community as a way to start the conversation about what the community needs to do to support its most vulnerable members. Reporting in 5 Points, Micah Smith, Denver 7.
An Aurora man has been arrested for child exploitation and sexual assault, and police believe there may be more victims out there. 44-year-old Darnell Ward was arrested last Wednesday in Arizona and extradited back to Colorado. Police say he was a frequent spectator at Overland High School girls basketball games and would help record scores for the game. He was not an official volunteer. Now, police did not elaborate on what Ward is accused of. Specifically, they say he helped with sporting events at other Denver metro area schools. So call police if you know of any other victims. A person was killed in a house fire this morning in Lakewood. West Metro Fire shared these pictures of the fire on South Cole Court. This is off of Yale. The victim has not been identified and the cause is still under investigation. A person also died this morning in a fire in North Glen. This one was on Keogh Drive. 4 other people were able to escape.
Colorado state lawmakers are working to make sure sex workers are not criminalized for reporting abuse. Now, Pasha Ripley is a former sex worker who experienced the danger herself. In 2018, her family faced some serious financial trouble. She had nowhere else to turn. And that's when she had this terrifying encounter.
I walked in and he grabbed me by my hair. He immediately hit me upside the head with something, I don't know what it was, and kind of dragged me down the stairs. I was raped, I was sodomized, and it just turned into a situation where I honestly thought he was going to kill me. I really did. I thought I was going to die.
House Bill 1288 would allow victims like Pasha to report crimes against them without fear of being charged with prostitution or soliciting. The bill is sponsored by Representative Breonna Titone. It has bipartisan support. It passed its first committee test with a unanimous vote yesterday, so now it heads to the House.
A Northfield High School teacher was recognized today for helping elevate diverse student perspectives. Raina Cruz teaches social studies at Northfield High in Denver, and she teaches a student voice and leadership class, which has helped incorporate student input in decision making. And today she was awarded the Milken Educator Award and $25,000.
I think it brings good attention to what teaching really is. And gets it out of the lost world of the memes where teaching gets almost a bad rap sometimes, and when you recognize it can have other students also be like, hey, teaching could be an option.
Cruz is now among 60 educators nationwide to receive the award, and she is the first DPS recipient since 2012.
The Marshall Fire destroyed his ability to make music.
Like that, everything was gone.
Our Denver 7 gives viewers help keep that music alive.
Are you serious right now?
Yep. Snow showers ending tonight, but there's more snow coming up in the 7-day.
Plus, the Rams are no longer dancing. Reaction to today's season-ending loss next.